Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team and Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you for your lunch hour, and we're glad that you've joined us here today as the temperature drops outside. The Auburn basketball team continues to rise in rankings. So we'll talk about Auburn yesterday, moving up to number 12 in the country. They're just slowly ascending up there to that top 10. Got 4 games left in the so-called preseason out-of-conference schedule before they start that in January. Obviously, the big talk, Randy, is around who will be the next offensive coordinator / Gus Malzahn's right hand. Will it be Chad Morris like a lot of people are thinking it is? I saw a lot of people on Twitter yesterday, some of the national media saying that the search for an Auburn offensive coordinator should start and stop at Chad Morris. And I think a lot of people feel that way. As Kenny Dillingham joins Mike Norvell down at Florida State to be the offensive coordinator there, they meet back up after just 1 year apart. Andy brought up something interesting. The Gus Malzahn tree. You know, everybody talks about the Nick Saban tree and the coaches. You know, Gus Malzahn's starting his own, basic tree, I guess, of coaches that are starting to be the next up-and-coming, group of coaches out there.
Well, there's not many of them, Brett, that are considered top 20 type of coaches. And if you're in the SEC and it's during this era and you're having any success at all, that's a plus. Because 75% of the coaches that have been hired over the last 10 years have been fired within 4 years?
That's right.
That sound right to you?
I think that's about right.
And if that's the case, if you have success and can hang in anywhere, even if 3 or 4 weeks out of the year, like your Gus Malzahn, you're having conversations out there, how hot is the seat for Gus Malzahn? But back to Chad Morris. Here's the big key here for me. Can he bring some stability to the quarterback room? That's been needed for quite some time at Auburn.
Development.
The development of a quarterback that we bring on campus to something that, I would like to take this back. Anyone that says that Gus Malzahn's never developed a quarterback's crazy. Because what he did with Nick Marshall was exceptionally good. He never became a quarterback that was going to the NFL, but he was a system guy. Yeah. And he wasn't a system guy before he got there. Yeah. He was a junior college guy that had had some success.
Well, he fit that system.
He fit that system, and Gus Malzahn groomed him to where he was one of our best quarterbacks we've ever had. Look at the stats and look at the wins that we had under Nick Marshall. But the decision to go away from that system to go to where we are now, it's a necessity that we get someone in there that can groom a quarterback and train them up. And any guy that's what they do. Brett, we know what we do on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. I think if anyone had to choose what Chad Morris does best, would you agree that he grooms quarterbacks best?
I definitely think he does. I mean, you look at his track record all the way back to Clemson and then now to where he is, and I think it's a perfect fit for him to come after losing that job at Arkansas, where you're going to find out over the next probably 3 to 4 to 5 years how very tough that job really is. At Arkansas. I don't think it's going to get any better. But I think that you brought up a good point the other day. I think it was on Saturday where you said that, bringing somebody in to develop Bo Nix and take him to the next level, he could be as good as Joe Burrow. And I agree with you. I mean, you look at what Brady did with Joe Burrow at LSU in 1 year. You kept alluding to just the prior year, 29-0 thrashing by Alabama on their home field. 12 months later, he's putting up 40-something points and 300-something yards passing, and he's doing that on a night-in, night-out basis. I mean, this guy has been totally transformed because Ed Orgeron didn't have too big of an ego, and he knew who he had to go out and get and what areas he had to address to get this football team to this level, because LSU's been right here, Randy, for 5 or 6 years, maybe longer than that. But they've been playing the wrong type of ball. They've been trying to beat Alabama at their game. Well, once they figured out they've got to have some offense, and you heard Gary Danielson say it Saturday, the days of just having a great defense are over.
Well,
I mean, they are.
You know, when we got quarterback play, when we got players and the transfer portal that's going on there, I think coaches, it's a transfer portal deal. And, yes, it can be, are you friends with Chad Morris? Sure, that goes a long way. You know what I'd be looking for if I was Chad Morris? Is there a quarterback in place that takes advantage of the skill set that I bring to the table, and I can groom him to be something special? Because who all wants Joe Brady right now?
Everybody wants him.
Okay, well,
everybody
my
wants him.
point is that if you come into Auburn and you take something that has been consistently around 75 to 90, is that what the passing game's been at Auburn?
Probably.
It's had moments where we have dipped into the 50s under Jarrett Stidham in 2017. Then we went directly backwards in 2018.
It's not been a strength.
For the most part, overall number base, throwing the football, we've been a 60 to 80. I'll give us the benefit of the doubt, but a 60 to 80. So you bring Chad Morris in. Yes, he struggled at Arkansas, but there's not enough fools out there to believe that it's all Chad Morris struggling at Arkansas.
It's not just him.
There's not enough fools to believe that. If he comes in, he grooms Bo Nix, who I think has all the skill set needed to become something special like Joe Burrow has done this year, then he'll write his ticket to where he wants to go next, and that's what he's there to do.
Sometimes you need to start over. You know, you can't blame him for taking that progression from, you know, where he was to Arkansas. It's a better job on paper, but I think you're finding out now that, you know, just because you've had a history, you might be in the wrong place. And Arkansas, I think, is in the wrong place. And I'll keep saying this, and they may never leave the SEC. I don't think their football program will ever get to a level that they want it to be in the Western Division of the SEC, because Alabama's not going anywhere. I don't think Auburn's going anywhere. LSU sure isn't going anywhere because they've got a stranglehold on recruiting down there in that area. And then Texas A&M with all the money. I mean, you're battling for 5th place with the Mississippi schools. Let's just be honest about it. So I think that's where Arkansas is, and it isn't just Chad Morris. He gets out, probably a blessing for him. I think he's a good coach, comes back, does something he's comfortable with a person he's comfortable with in Gus Malzahn, and then he'll have another shot in a couple years, like you said, if he comes in and does with Bo Nix what Joe Brady's done with Joe Burrow.
Well, a lot of different reasons Lane Kiffin struggled when he was a head coach, and we can sit up here for the next hour and discuss some of those reasons. Long story short, I thought that Nick Saban hiring Lane Kiffin was the worst idea humanly possible, to a culture, to an environment, all the way around. Once again, Nick Saban proved me to be the talking head and he to be the coach, because it was one of the best things.
You weren't the only one that said that.
He was one of the best things that ever happened to that program, because he changed the philosophy offensively, and they've taken advantage of that moving forward. So Lane Kiffin kind of recreated himself there under a protege that now when he goes on camera, if you listen to him speak for 5 minutes, he is going to mention Nick Saban 3 or 4 times in a 5-minute spiel. It's unreal. But he knows in the back of his mind that he gives him a lot of credibility with what he did while he was at the University of Alabama. And so I think that Chad Morris can build off of that. But he needs to pick a place that has a willing coach at hand. I don't know how willing Gus Malzahn is to turn the play calling over to him or to let him implement what he chooses to. And also, does he have a quarterback in place that can be special?
Probably some of the conversation that they're having right now. Probably what will end up determining whether he comes to Auburn or not, or decides to maybe sit out a year or go somewhere else and do something else. You know, I don't know what the conversation was with Hugh Freeze and Gus Malzahn. He ends up taking a head coaching job at Liberty. Liberty likes him. They want to keep him. They want to they're trying to up his contract right now. I don't know where Chad Morris will end up. I mean, it seems that all indications that he's coming to join this Auburn staff eventually. But I think probably what's going on with Gus Malzahn and he right now is that, hey, look, if I do this, I want full reins, and can Gus Malzahn turn it over?
And there's a lot of you out there that, like me in the last few weeks, go, now exactly what is the connection with Chad Morris and Gus Malzahn? Well, the two have been close friends. I'll just read from the sheets that Andy had for us. They've been close friends since their days coaching high school, Morris in Texas and Malzahn in Arkansas. If you read into that some, also, Morris really enjoyed or really liked what Malzahn was doing offensively, and he took that system back to Texas.
He didn't know him. You know, that's the crazy thing about that relationship is he didn't know him at all, really. He just started making trips over there to watch Gus Malzahn, and they ended up building that relationship that way.
So I think that type of offense, and many back during that stretch were really impressed with what Gus Malzahn was doing in Springdale, Arkansas offensively, and the championships that he was winning there before he ends up at Arkansas. And namely, the reason he ends up at Arkansas is Mitch Mustain and the offensive system and all of the press that he had received positively in Arkansas. So Chad Morris was really, if anything, looked up to Gus Malzahn on his system, and they've remained close friends since then. Hopefully, when you see Gus Malzahn doesn't seem to burn bridges with coaches. Have you noticed that?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he really, I mean, like you've said this a bunch. I mean, Gus Malzahn's a likable guy. I mean, I you know, last Wednesday he came in there and, you know, he's a little, he
came in where?
Into the, you know, the banquet or the luncheon for the HSA Super 7. He's a little awkward. He's not going to be, he's not a politician. He doesn't work a room.
Not Tommy Tucker.
No, he's not. He's going to stand over there in the corner. And if somebody comes up to him, he's going to take a picture with him, be nice, be approachable. But, you know, he's different. And we're all different. Everybody's not cut out of the same mold. But he is a nice guy. And I think coaches respect him. I think players really like him. So that's a big thing going for Gus Malzahn when you look at it. So up against our first break of the program, we come back, we'll read some of your comments and continue this discussion. Stay tuned with Auburn Blitz right after this.
Employee Pricing Plus continues at Bice Motors in Alex City.
It's the Big Finish event.
Save up to $7,435 on Jeep Compass and Grand Cherokee, or up to $12,000 on the powerful Ram trucks in stock.
Don't miss this.
Save up to $5,200 on the sporty Dodge Durango.
We're going to finish the year big.
Save big during the Big Finish event going on at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hidley Towers is an affordable senior citizen community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East, where spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living, where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more about Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552, where your family at Hidley Towers. That's 256-329-0552.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Alex City Marines, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, and the Yerkes invite you by to see what they have available today. The 2020 Manitous and Landaus are in, and boy, are they gorgeous. Also, some great deals on demos. Take advantage of that while they last. Alex City Marine also is doing shrink wrapping, storage. Get in line now. In fact, call this number, 256-215-FISH. Alex City Marine, Alex City.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
The Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales in Opelika has the largest selection of prestige cars, trucks, and SUVs in Central and East Alabama, all with financing available, little to no money down, and extended warranties. Get pre-qualified in under 2 minutes, online or from your mobile device at GillsPrestigeOnline.com. It's the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. Some good comments coming in here, and we appreciate that. Out there on our Facebook page, you can comment with us every single day on this program. That's what it's designed to do. You got Johnny up there. He was in Minnesota yesterday, and he's watching from Sioux Falls today. A blistering 4 degrees up there. He was giving us some reports of what Minnesota fans were talking about yesterday, drawing Auburn in the bowl game, and he said that they're not very confident that they're going to come down here and win that game.
Well, let's segue to that real quick, and then we'll go back to a few other comments.
Yep.
And thanks to everyone for tuning in out there. And we always like to hear, even when Brett and I are on air on Friday night, where are you tuning in from? Please put that in the comments. On Friday night, I've gotten to where I ask for people to text in, old players and alumni, and let us know where they're listening in to our radio broadcast. And by the way, thanks to everyone that tuned in to the Super 7 last week. Numbers are through the roof, and we're really appreciative to everyone and all the comments that we've received on that. But back to this Minnesota. Here's my quick take on that. It's a great matchup for Auburn.
I really think so.
If we struggle with a victory here, it's our own fault. And if it doesn't mean, no disrespect to Minnesota, but from a physicality standpoint and from an athleticism standpoint, this is one that if we go into the football game expecting to win, playing hard,
head on straight,
doing the right, then it should be a win. And me going to the bowl game this year, I was more interested in, my interest lied in can we get to 10 wins. So I would love for a matchup that gets us to 10 wins, and I think this is a perfect one for us.
Have you seen the motto for Auburn and a lot of the players?
No.
Getting that 10th?
Yeah.
I mean, this is different than the Peach Bowl a couple of years ago with Stidham and in the focus of, what we're going to be able to do. They know it's important for the program. They want to end on a high note. And so I don't think it's going to be one of those deals where you have to worry about this team going over there disinterested and, oh, man, we didn't. And I think there is something to that in this playoff era now. If you're a team like Auburn 2 years ago that lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game where you knew if you were able to win that game, you go to the playoffs for the first time.
I agree with
you. And you didn't. And I tried to say it didn't matter. And I went over there, and I took Braden, and I took a friend, and we all went over there, and it just sat, and y'all were all right, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I thought that this team would just rise up and play, and from the time they ran out of the tunnel to warm-ups, you could tell they didn't want to be there. And Central Florida was playing for it like it was their Super Bowl. So there is something to that motivation. If you're wondering if Auburn's going to be motivated playing this game, you don't have to worry about it. You just go on Twitter, look at what the players – I know they were originally disappointed out of the gate, but they've embraced getting to 10 wins and seeing what they can do moving forward.
Well, and they have to hear it as often as – we say it all the time. The press says it all the time. Auburn has a problem with consistency. And that's always something we go back to is how often has Auburn won 10-plus games in back-to-back seasons? Only one time in the history of the program. And if you're going to be a special program, an elite program, one that you can go back to and you can say, during that stretch, we were a top 5 program for a 5 to 10 year stretch.
That's right.
You have to win. In an era where you're playing 13, 14, 15 games a season, if you don't win 10, that's not a great season.
It's really
a very mediocre season to go 9-4 or 9-5. Now, back in the day when you only had 11, you won 10 games, that's a lot different. So a lot more opportunities out there. And I do think Auburn right now during this stretch where we've got some consistency in the coaching staff, that needs to be a goal, but you got to get there the first year to make it continue.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Patrick said Darius Slayton is going to help Auburn in wide receiver recruiting. It can't hurt. That guy is just tearing it up. Caught 2 more touchdown passes last night from Eli Manning. Fell short in the game, but still, I mean, Darius Slayton is. Man, I didn't expect. Did you expect him to be this good?
I thought he was. I thought he had an opportunity to be special last year.
Did we misuse him?
Well, no. He dropped a lot of balls. He did.
No, he did drop passes.
He got the yips.
He dropped one in the Mississippi State game that was huge.
I think Jarrett Stidham looked for him, but, we didn't do a lot intermediate with Darius Slayton at any point in time.
He was always the deep guy.
But you saw that catch last night on a little turn in, a little sit-down pattern, about 12 yards, sits down, perfectly thrown ball by Eli, timing route that every receiver that's ever played the game's taught, turned to the outside, hit the sideline, bye-bye.
Was gone.
And the only thing I could think of, my gosh, he looks like Jalen Waddle out there when Jalen caught that dig route against Auburn a couple of Saturdays ago, and you saw Smoke Monday just turn around and start running towards the end zone, and he had 5 yards of separation between he and the end zone, and Monday knew that he was in trouble. Darius Slayton ran by a secondary player last night, and he beat him by 7 to 8 yards in the end zone. So I bet they'll use him a lot more on that style of play other than just hitting the deep ball. And I thought at Auburn we mainly just looked at him for the deep ball.
I think so. I think that's what his primary role was there. Toolman said, and with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, Arkansas sinks even lower. That's a good point. I mean, we're talking about the job at Arkansas, and they've got Sam Pittman over there now, and everybody – I talked to several people yesterday go, who is Sam Pittman? That's what Arkansas is dealing with right now. And yes, he was a good assistant coach at Georgia. Yes, he had a good reputation of recruiting, but he's not at Georgia anymore. He's at Arkansas. So the good recruiting that he did over there isn't going to be the same good recruiting he's going to have to do at Arkansas.
I feel for him. I feel for the program. I feel for those that follow it. It feels like a train wreck, and it is a train wreck. And how they get it back on the rails, I have no earthly idea. I think this a really good coach, but when you're 58 years old and you haven't had a head coaching job yet, there's a reason. There is a reason that you get to that, and people haven't looked at you as a true leader. And that's not a knock on him. It just is what it is.
Just taking what they can get. Marvin said, what about Damian Craig and Will Muschamp?
He can go. When Damian Craig came out, and by the way, anyone that knows me knows that, or has watched our programming knows that I think Damian Craig was my favorite player at Auburn. If we wouldn't have had Damian Craig during the stretch that I was in school, we would have been so bad that
he saved it. There's no doubt.
I mean, the true colors came out in '98 when we lost him. So after I've got all that said, when he said he wasn't that was not a lateral move from Auburn to LSU, when he had the willingness as an Auburn alumni and one that many like me said is his favorite player to say, I'm not making a lateral move. This is an upward move for me to go over to LSU.
And he did say it.
I'm done with it. He can go on wherever he wants to.
Is he outcast as bad as James Willis from Auburn now?
He's outcast in my book. You say that, you got to know when you say something like that. Some people are going to take it the wrong way.
You burn the bridge.
Yeah.
Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control for generations, and now with EnviroCare, you can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs. EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. EnviroCare's Centricon system protects your home year-round. Call the professionals at EnviroCare throughout East Central Alabama for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
I am Lisa McClendon from Country Financial, and I have spent years in our community helping people protect their homes, cars, and lives. I am proud to be a member of the 2018 National Championship Team and a National Advisory Council member for Country Financial. Complete financial security does not end with just insurance. I am also here to help you plan for your financial future.
Together, we can help you set up a step-by-step plan to reach financial security.
Let's talk soon.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
At Mortgage Pro, we won't be able to finance a new car or new boat. We can't open you a checking account. Mortgage Pro specializes in mortgage loans. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your current home, the only way to go is Mortgage Pro. We can close in 15 days or less. We can offer the best rates in the mortgage industry. And we can waive appraisal fees on any new loan from September 1st until December 31st. Call Mortgage Pro today.
Halfway through the program today, got a lot to get to, some more comments we want to run down. Marvin said, man, it's Auburn versus the world with some of these national awards, isn't it? Chase Young winning the Nagurski last night. I felt like Chase Young, with the publicity and the way he's played, would probably win that award. I think Derek Brown's going to win a few of these awards coming up, especially the interior linemen and some of those that Chase Young's not going to be his competition. I think Derek Brown's going to win some of those. So, yeah, I'm not surprised really that Chase Young won that award.
I'm not either. I was glad to see Derek Brown named as the AP Defense Player of the Year. That was deserved. That's a huge award.
Massive.
That's one that you can point to and always hang the banner and come back and see things there. But I would like to see that interior lineman go to Derek Brown. I think it's deserved, and that's a monster award.
That's a monster one.
And one that, when I remember going back and thinking when Auburn did they weren't murals, but they were canvases that they ran down in front of the stadium, and it was all the major award winners. It'd be nice to see Derek Brown be one of those that you
I
could
like
put up
that.
there for that.
Yeah, I like that.
I did too.
I like that. I wish they'd go back to
Well,
that.
it's not only the Heisman winners that have won major awards at Auburn. You know,
Tracy
really,
Rocker, man, and
Zeke Smith and
Zeke
many
Smith,
others.
Carlos Rogers.
That's ones that are just equal. Just because the Heisman has never given a defensive back or a defensive tackle or even a defensive end like Derek Thomas that had 27 sacks in his senior year and he finished the 7th. You think anybody was better in college football than that?
They just need to go ahead and say that the Heisman is the best offensive player in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I know the Walter Camp Award is basically that, the best offensive player, but I mean, the Heisman is basically that. I mean, Woodson won it for Michigan. Has there been any other defensive players
No,
outside
that's
of
it.
him?
And if he
he beat Peyton Manning out.
And if Woodson wouldn't have had some plays from a receiver and all of the returns that he had,
he wouldn't have won it.
He would have never won. And he deserved to win it that year, and he went on.
You think he was better than Peyton Manning?
I think that Woodson proved any doubters that thought that he didn't deserve it. What he did in the pros proved everyone. Now, Peyton Manning's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had in the pros, too. So he deserved it, too.
He did.
Just happened to be two that deserved it. But Charles Woodson was one of the best secondary players of our generation.
Oh, for sure.
He and Ed Reed, probably the best two secondary players of our generation after Deion
Ed
Sanders.
Reed's in the Hall of Fame. Does Woodson make it eventually?
Are you kidding?
So,
yes.
I mean, there you
As
go.
fast as he
Well,
can get
that
there.
just tell that was kind of a rhetorical
Yeah.
question. Jeremy said, just my opinion, but getting suspended mid-season for violations should make a player ineligible for these awards.
Well, I think that it's you need to look at why the suspension happened. Not all suspensions are equal to me. That story read so poorly against that young man that anyone
That he
that
borrowed
has
some money and paid it back.
paid it back for his family to travel to a bowl game.
I know.
How ridiculous is college football when you get to that point?
That's the thing that makes people that despise the NCAA.
Yeah.
Because of the non-consistency across the board on things. And you're right, I'm not sure that he should have ever sat out a single game. And you know what would have happened with Cam Newton? If Auburn would have taken the advice of the NCAA and sat him for about 3 games, including the Georgia game, and we would have lost that game.
True. And
then they reinstate him. After they'd have gone, oh, I'm sorry, we've cleared everything up. No, Auburn did it right. They said, you know what, we're going to keep playing them, and if you find something or you come back and say something's wrong, then we'll just suffer the consequences. And I think that's how you have to approach it with them now.
And let's hope that not doing it that way in basketball, because that thing's still looming out there, isn't it? Has any decisions been made from that? Or is it over?
Well, you know, we did this last year. You know, we talked about, is this thing done? Is it done? And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, something else will come out, and they'll have a little bit more traction with some things, and then it'll die again. This thing just is a never-ending, ongoing pile of mess. Is the only way I can, with a lack of better terms that I can use there. But I don't know when it's ever going to be absolutely put to. They've never come out and said, okay, this is over. So
No,
that
they
answers
haven't.
it.
No.
They're not. I don't know when they're going to do that either. Jamie said, agree with everything you just said, but the next 2 years will set his course. Malzahn has to win and win big. Another nice guy as a head coach is out there. G said he's tuning in from Statesboro, Georgia, Randy. So there's one of your requests there. Steven said, I'm just not sold on Chad Morris. He said this yesterday, especially being Gus's friend. I don't know. I mean,
it's not that I'm sold on us doing something else offensively from a scheme standpoint. You sold on that? You sold on us doing something different than what we're doing in the passing game right now?
Am I sold on something?
Are you sold on us needing to do something different?
Absolutely.
Which Auburn fan of those of you that are commenting out there is not sold on we need to is anyone confused anymore with what we're doing in the passing game? Does anyone seem confused?
Talking about from a fan's perspective?
No, the opposition. Do they seem confused?
Look, the opposing team hadn't been fooled by Gus Malzahn in 3 or 4 years, Randy. That's the amazing thing about what Auburn has done. They've been successful in spite of themselves. No teams knowing the tendencies, knowing what Auburn's going to run, knowing that specific personnel means this play. We still win 8 games, 9 games sometimes. That's mind-blowing. Can you imagine if you actually broke tendency like we did against Texas A&M this year in the first half? Everything we called was totally opposite of what anybody would think. Everybody thought, man, Gus Malzahn's finally turned the corner with this, and then we went right back to the same old stuff. That's where people are frustrated with Gus. They like Gus Malzahn. I think the fan base generally likes him as a person.
I agree,
but
too.
But they are frustrated with, why, if I'm a common fan out here and I know what you're about to run, do you not think the guy across the sideline that makes $5 million a year doesn't know it and studied film on you for about 3 weeks? I mean, how do you not think he doesn't know that when Harold Joyner comes in the game that 30 to 40% of the time he's going to run out of the backfield in a wheel route, maybe more than that. He's predicated to certain things that when Anthony Schwartz comes in, he's probably going to run a speed sweep. You know, and then when Will Hastings comes in and lines up in the slot, he's probably going to run a post pattern deep down the middle of the field. There's tendencies to look at, and then he still keep going to those things. I don't know.
So if you ask me, you know, Chad Morris, there's just a hope that I have out there that there's a Joe Brady in the midst. And it may be Chad Morris. And it could be that the two of them get along so well that perfection comes. I do believe that I still, in my heart of hearts, think Bo Nix is a pro. And I would love to see him get the grooming that he deserves at Auburn, and we get the best out of that guy, because I think the best of him is a very, very high ceiling.
I think he can be elite.
I do too. I
think he can be elite. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman, General Manager of Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga.
And I'm Coco. Do you owe more on your vehicle than it's worth? Are you stuck with high interest rates? We may be able to help.
If you've made your last 12 consecutive payments on time and would like to get a new vehicle for the same or close to the same payment and save thousands of dollars in interest, you may qualify.
So come by and see us and let us show you the Vaden way.
Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga, located on Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Be the hostess with the mostest this holiday season at Chicken Salad Chick with our easy party catering. Need a quick appetizer? Stop by Chicken Salad Chick and grab a quick chick of any chicken salad flavor or the pimento cheese ball covered with crushed pecans and crispy bacon. Remember, no meal is complete without a sweet treat. For a limited time, our pumpkin cheesecake is back and it's delicious. Chicken Salad Chick can feed any holiday crowd with our custom fit catering. 12 flavors of chicken salad, there's sure to be something for every taste bud.
Since the dawn of time, mankind has needed tools. But not all tools are created equal. AGF Machine Rental Sales and Service has tools for all commercial construction or big residential projects. AGF Machinery offers the most durable and hardworking brands of ASV, Skyjack, and Wacker Neuson. Aerial lifts, scissor lifts, loaders, excavators, and forest equipment on demand for the best possible price. And backed by the Southeast's best team of professionals. Visit any of our strategic locations across Alabama for all your equipment needs. Or online at agfmachinery.com.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs. Or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Expected or not, the loss of a loved one is difficult. Put your family first by planning ahead. This is Joseph Dean, new owner of Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers. We are a full-service funeral home with an on-site crematory and cemetery. Whether your need is immediate or you would like to plan in advance, our experienced, compassionate staff can assist you in designing an enduring memorial experience, burial, or cremation. Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers on Highway 280 in Camp Hill or online, alabamafuneralhomes.com.
Tires are important, and when getting a great price on tires, you want to get it right. So make the short drive to Wright's Tire in Sylacauga. Wright's Tire can get you any make or model of tire, and they make the drive worth it with volume pricing. Whether North Tallapoosa, South Talladega, or Coosa County, make the right choice, the right selection, the right service, and the right price. All at Wright's Tire on Fort William Street in Sylacauga. Call for a free quote, 256-245-7778, and get the right price on tires.
Harbor Point Ship Store has everything to make your day on the lake more enjoyable. Come on out to the biggest marina on the water. They have pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and more. Get your gas, groceries, snacks, ice, and everything you need for a fun day on the lake. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned boat? Harbor Point has the best selection around of everyone's favorite Crest pontoons and Four Winds boats. Harbor Point also has a great selection of pre-owned boats. Come on out and take a look at Harbor Point, Marina Point Road in Dadeville. Get to the point.
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Some great comments coming in. We'll read those and move over into some basketball talk here. G said, is it true Ed Orgeron tried to steer, Lane away from the Ole Miss job? And, if so, why did he do that? We can speculate. And, they were close and they've been together several times and probably just looking out for his goodwill. Jeremy said Kiffin was going to take any job offered to him in the SEC. You think he'd have taken the Vanderbilt job?
I don't know. I think he could have. I think Vandy's a neat spot for someone to go. I really do, because Franklin proved you can win there, and anywhere in the East to me is easier than anywhere in the West.
Of course it is.
I just think the matchups are better. So Ole Miss, though, under Hugh Freeze, they rose to number one in the country. Dan Mullen had Mississippi State number one in the country. So who am I to say that it's not doable? It's been proven that it's doable. Hugh Freeze, I would say, during his stretch at Ole Miss, had Ole Miss to a level of where Auburn is right now. And I'm pretty happy with where Auburn is right now.
Did you ever think you would see the day, and I'll remember it, and it was one of our years where we weren't very good, and I can't remember which year it was, but Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the front cover of Sports Illustrated, number one and number two in the country. I thought I was seeing things. That's unbelievable. Did you ever think you'd see those two teams, number one and two in the country?
No, but I think both had great coaches.
They did.
I think Dan Mullen
and good players.
I think Dan Mullen is a super coach.
I think Hugh Freeze is right up there with him.
I think Hugh Freeze just had some issues off the field, and he probably played the recruiting game to the level of what he felt he needed to.
Yeah.
And he got slapped on the wrist with what he was doing on the recruiting trail there.
The Kim Deitchie get really just kind of was the red flag that some of the schools in this conference said, no, you've been teeter-tottering on getting some of these players. You ain't going to start getting those 5 stars. And I think that it ultimately did him in. Mark, thanks for telling us where you are, Bowling Green, Kentucky. War Eagle from up there. Steven says, I agree 100%. The passing game needs to change, and in a hurry.
I think it just needs a little bit of a breath of life thrown into it. Just a little change up from what we're seeing from a scheme standpoint. And I think Gus Malzahn's a smart enough guy to realize that. Is he stubborn enough to not do it? I don't know. That's what separates greatness from mediocrity. Auburn's been far but mediocre. But we are weighed by games that we play against our top tier, our rivals.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, when you look at what we're doing against our rivals, it is not pretty. And things must change with what's going on between Auburn and Georgia. I don't think any Auburn fan that I talk to, we're disgusted with what's going on between Auburn and Georgia, a lot worse than we are between Auburn and Alabama. And we have beaten Alabama more than we have Georgia. But also, I think many of us will concede that what's going on with that cyborg across the state, Nick Saban, is that ain't going to happen. There's not another one of them going to come around probably this next 50 years.
Probably not.
And he's the best. I mean, we'll go to another segment next, and it's ESPN had the top 150 greatest coaches in college football history. And who happens to be 1 and 2? Bear and Saban. And I think both are deserving. I really do. I'm sitting here as an Auburn fan.
How do you not put them up there? I mean, it's ridiculous.
My point is I can concede that, but what's going on at Georgia and our record against Georgia over the last 15 years is not acceptable.
It's atrocious, man. I mean, we've had way more success against Alabama and LSU. I mean, at least, and I know we didn't last time, we lost by a field goal.
Yeah.
And we lost by a field goal again the year before at home. You know, we've been close to LSU several times, even 3 years in a row.
Sure.
For the Auburn LSU games come down to basically the last play. And so we're right there. We may have blundered some things up, and then Alabama, we've beaten them more than anybody in the conference. And then here comes Georgia. And you look up on the scoreboard, and you're going into the fourth quarter, and this is supposed to be the toughest place right now in the conference to play Jordan-Hare, and that mediocre offense is up 21-0 on you. I just said, I give up. I guess they're, you know, as much as Luke wants to say there's voodoo dolls and so well, they must leave town when Georgia comes because they obviously have all the mojo when they roll into Jordan-Hare because I don't understand it. You and I sat together 2 times and got up and left games against Georgia. If the game was so bad, we dang sure left the Tennessee game. It was so bad that year.
Yes.
I mean, but one, we got beat 20-13 and it was a punt fest. And Georgia ended up winning the game because they ended up returning a punt for a touchdown. Both teams were so bad. We were in Athens at the same time when that was the most putrid. I had a Georgia guy get up in the middle of the third quarter and look at me and said, well, you can have it, man. I'm out. I mean, it was – and they were ahead. I mean, because they had a pick six. Not because they did anything offensively. It's just some really bad games. But Georgia has gotten way more of those than we have. We've only sprinkled 3 wins in the last 15 years against Georgia.
Yeah, 12 of 15. So those are things that need to change, and I don't see them changing to the level that I think is there with Gus Malzahn. Look at the recruiting this guy's doing. We've never recruited at this level.
He's the best recruiter we've ever had.
And he's putting a staff together that can really recruit too. And he's got some Auburn guys around there that were ex-players that I really like. And I like what they're selling. And I think they believe in what they're selling more. And that's the most important part. And, you know, you have to throw your pride away every once in a while. And I'm really hoping that he'll throw his pride away, have a blessing given down to him, if it's Chad Morris or if it's someone else, and he has an opportunity to say, look, I've got to take advantage of that guy right there. I did tell all of y'all in press conferences over and over and over again that I feel like I need to call the plays, and that's where I'm most comfortable. Look, if he makes a decision that's the way he wants to stay, so be it. But he's getting a blessing here. And if he doesn't want to come to us Auburn faithful and say, look, we got to take advantage of this, I sense that we need to change our direction in the passing game. Chad Morris is the guy to do it. He's got a guy to tutor there in Bo Nix that can be special. How many of us would buy in hook, line, and sinker to a pitch like that?
And everybody would. Everybody would. I want to give kudos to Travis Williams. 2 years in a row, Auburn with a first-team All-SEC linebacker. Look at what he's done to that linebacking core, and look at what he's done with the recruiting. They've got another big 4-star recruit that's narrowed it down to Auburn, Tennessee, and South Carolina. And I looked on his Twitter, and he's retweeting everything Travis Williams. He announces on December 18th. Man, just getting it done. If you're a linebacker, why wouldn't you want to play for that guy?
Or to Rodney Garner, why would you not want to play with that guy for the defensive line?
Bingo. Stay tuned. Final segment of the show coming up right after this.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace. Smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. WOTM has you covered with live coverage of all 7 championship games of the Super 7. WOTM is available to all TV providers in Alabama. If WOTM is not currently a part of your channel lineup, call your provider and request that they add WOTM. WOTM, your exclusive TV home for the AHSAA Super 7 basketball, baseball, and softball championships. All live only on WOTM.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control for generations, and now with EnviroCare, you can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs. EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. EnviroCare's Centricon system protects your home year-round. Call the professionals at EnviroCare throughout East Central Alabama for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Hey Realtors, do you know about LMG Ad Agency? We build your brand and help sell your properties or a unique lifestyle so you can focus on your clients. We focus on professional photos, videos, aerial photography and videography, and commercial real estate. We'd love to tell your story. Contact us today at 256-392-4250 or visit our website at lmgadagency.com.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Mortgage Pro is the new standard for mortgage loans. While other banks are taking 45 to 60 days to close a loan, Mortgage Pro is making it happen in less than 15 days. Your mortgage loan goes from start to finish in less than 15 days. Mortgage Pro is able to make this happen by having the most advanced technology and a highly trained staff with over 98 years combined experience. If you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current mortgage, call Mortgage Pro and let our team go to work for you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment of the program. I want to highlight some really cool stuff going on with one of our sponsors.
Yeah, our good friend Luke Robinson and his family own Satterfield Outdoor Living. They're here in Alexander City on Highway 280, and they're offering 12 months, same as cash, on any purchase totaling $200 on any of the fantastic items sold in their store. So make sure to come on out, see them. Some of those items that will be on sale during this season: the Steels, Echoes, Shindawa, Husqvarnas, Makita, Skag, zero-turn mowers, Golden cast iron smokers, pit barrel cookers, and Engel coolers. There's one thing after another. If you want to stop in and see them on Highway 280 in Alexander City, make sure to go by or give them a phone call at 256-234-0450.
Some real quick comments there. Steven said, Brad, you hit the nail on the head with Gus. It's much too predictable. Certain players doing the same thing every time they come into the game. Jeremy said, was talking about the guy from William and Mary that G brought up, the potential name Brennan Marion maybe for the offensive coordinator position there. We don't know if there's any traction to that or not. Steven says, do we know how many players Auburn can sign this year? I know they can get to the full 25. I don't know if they can sign over. That depends on, if Gus, it has to do with, giving some of those walk-on scholarships and if anybody leaves early and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I know they can sign the full allotment of 25, and we're at 21 right now with a couple of announcements coming up on the 18th, especially a big offensive line, JUCO lineman, the number one cornerback, JUCO cornerback in the country, and this linebacker out of Georgia, a 4-star. So you got 3 more right there. I think Auburn's got a lot to pick from for their last 4 spots.
Good news during the break that you gave me. You may want to read that out, but Tank Bigsby says, look, my recruiting's no more. I'm done. Respect my decision. War Eagle, he'll be here, and we're looking forward to it. And, of course, who's the first coach that you see retweet that out? Travis Williams. There's no one doing a better job, in my opinion, on that staff than Travis Williams to reach these recruits, to be someone that these recruits want to be around and parents want to be around. And he's just done an exceptionally good job since he's been there. He's handled his business well. I appreciate someone that gets an opportunity and takes advantage of that opportunity. And now 2 consecutive first-team All-SEC linebackers. Have we had one since him?
I don't think so. I mean, did Josh Vines make All-SEC?
First team?
Well, he didn't make first team. I know he may have made
2 first-team All-SEC.
Yeah, you're talking about first team. Yeah, no.
The last one I could say was Travis Williams in 2004.
Probably him. And what he does for the program as far as an ambassador and how good of a person he is and really relates to the kids. Why wouldn't you want to play for that guy? Not only, you said it, you can get them there a lot of times, but can you develop them into the players that you want them to be? And he does both. He can get them there, and then he can turn them into something special.
Well, they play like their hair's on fire. They play downhill. Anyone that appreciates great linebacker play wants guys that are thumpers. But they also do things the right way. And I just have a sense that unless you play hard for that guy, you sit over there and you rot. And if you choose to go somewhere else, so be it. I don't think he plays any type of favoritism.
He doesn't.
But I also think he applauds great leadership, and that's important.
Well, we thought K.J. Britt would probably be the guy to take that over.
But Travis Williams applauds it. And what that does when you applaud someone or you give them a little you give them a reassuring that what you're doing is noticed and appreciated by the coaches and by the program in general, it makes you want to do a little bit more of that. You encourage someone. And I think he's a great encourager when he gets kids in his program that do the right thing.
I think it was key. I don't think there was any wavering with Tank Bigsby, but when he moved up to the number 1 running back in the country, got that 5th star, Georgia really started pumping hard again. And I think that was huge for him to come out and say that. Steven, Jeremy, all of them think that Travis Williams should be the next defensive coordinator when Kevin Steele leaves. Steven thinks he's being groomed for that position by Kevin Steele.
I would love to see it. I'd love to know that someone that started maybe from a grad assistant and then gets an opportunity at a position coach and then keeps moving up the ranks and keeps proving that when his kids get out there and play, they play at a top-tier level, can do what is needed in today's world as far as marketing and advertising what you're selling. Nobody on the Auburn staff does it better than him.
Nobody.
0. Nobody's even close. And that's the reason when you just said that news on Tank Bigsby, there's no question who is at Auburn that's going to be the one that's yelling that the loudest. And, of course, it's Travis Williams. So I hope it's 3 or 4 more years down the road because I think Kevin Steele's doing a masterful job, and you can always use a few more years to get groomed. But if that time does come, I hope we do the right thing and give him that chance.
I do too. Dallas Jackson is the name of the 4-star defensive tackle. Tuck said that Auburn's in on there. Tuck also said the good thing about Travis Williams is our guys aren't out of position like they used to be. It seems like our linebackers are always where they need to be. Brent says, I see Travis getting an opportunity to be a head coach somewhere down the line. So
yes, yes, he will. I mean, anyone that moves to a coordinator, he's a young guy.
But that's the next step for him.
You take the coordinator role, you prove that you can lead in that
he's
regard.
He's a young guy, too.
Yeah, he's perfect. He's going to get a head coaching job at some point in time. I think just the next progression is a coordinator, and I hope that coordinator position's not somewhere else like T-Rob had to do. I hope that coordinator position is at Auburn when you proved yourself like you.
I do too. That's where I'm hoping that he just kind of moves up, like they said, takes that position when Kevin Steele decides it's time for him to move on. And I think Travis Williams and Kevin Steele have a great working relationship with each other, along with Rodney Garner. That's another thing that I think gets undersold a little bit, is how good our coaches get along with each other on each side of the football. I mean, they live with each other. They agree with each other. They can tell each other when they don't agree, and they can agree to disagree, I guess, for lack of better terms, is the continuity, and it spills over into the team.
Well, that's a big positive for Gus Malzahn. Again, I don't hear anyone when they leave Gus Malzahn throw him in the fire. Do you?
Never have.
And it's just human nature to feel scorned and to say negative things about someone when it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But I don't get that sense from him, and that's a real positive about Gus Malzahn. We got one little thing that I would like to see us get better, and I think if we do happen to get better in the passing game and get this offense back to where he had it in 13 and 14, I think there's championship years to come the way that he's recruiting, and I'm at least looking positively that may happen in the next 5 years.
I agree. If he can get it turned around right there, man, he can be here for a long time, and I don't think anybody would complain about that at all. That's going to wrap it up here for the latest edition of Auburn Blitz. We'll be back with you tomorrow, same time, same place. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have. See you tomorrow.